Hey there, welcome to Time to Touch. And I'm Ina, and I'm a marriage counselor. I love the work I do, working with traditional marriages as well as alternative lifestyles. I'm one of the only therapists in the Valley who advertises and does that. And I love doing the Time to Touch sharing because Michael and Ryan are absolute gems, and they are friends, and we just have a ball doing this. So what we're going to be talking about is February, and that is no separation unless you separate yourself. So that's something to think about. There is no separation unless you separate yourself.
That's some pretty heavy implication there.
It is. It is. And we oftentimes want to think we are alone in our experiences and the things that we're going through right now. But I do find that I am as alone or as full and surrounded by people as I choose to, as much as I choose to let that in.
Beautiful.
I guess it's a matter of staying in my feminine to receive other people.
So the feeling alone oftentimes happens when we're unhappy. If we're, addiction is huge, feeling alone, or if you're having difficulties in your relationship, like no one else has ever experienced this. Who do I talk to? I'm different, and this is only happening to me. And of course, none of that is true.
I find that feeling alone is the thing that starts that whole process, right? Like feeling alone has me needing to cope with drugs, sex.
You mean you use the substances?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can feel. Often people, use alcohol. Will say as an icebreaker. It helps me feel more loose and more relaxed around people. And really, when I look at it, when I have a drink, I feel like something drops, and I suddenly see that I'm not I'm not as bad as I think I am, or I'm not as different as, I actually can connect with people. And it's kind of interesting how, personally, I had to go there to feel that. And now as in my sobriety, what I get is the aloneness is a total illusion.
Yes,
and it's
it is.
not that it doesn't come, because it does come. I'm a human being, but I can get now that I'm creating that I'm alone. And some of the things I look for is, okay, well, what makes me different right now? What makes me not enough to be in connection with this? And some of those thoughts, some of those investigations can really uncover some pretty profound things. And when I can really get that I'm no different. I'm not any there's no separation between me and anybody on this planet. What's really profound about that is I am not even separate from God, from my higher power, from the universe. However you want to look at it. I am that divine power that I know to be. Unless
you yourself separate from it. And it's the feeling. I feel separate. I feel alone. And the reality is we've been given free will. We're the only mammal on the planet that has free will.
Yeah.
And every other plant, every other mineral, plant, animal, there is a grid work. There is an interconnection. And if you go out in the desert or you work with your third eye, your psychic eye, you can see this energy grid work, except the human being is not connected to that grid work unless we choose to be connected to it. That's why I love sitting out in my yard with nature, because I choose to connect, and then it's like I'm sitting in God's garden. It feels like the trees have wrapped themselves around me. So the humans, because we have free will, we have to make a choice to connect or we disconnect. And that's a big responsibility, because I want to be connected.
Yeah.
I don't want to be disconnected from life and my friends and my family and from what's going on in the world. There's a lot going on in the world. I don't need to be at the effect of it, but I certainly want to be connected and feel it and know what's going on.
I think the big piece of that too is all of that happens right now.
Yes.
It doesn't happen out there tomorrow. It doesn't happen back when, my sister beat me up or whatever, right? It doesn't, none of that exists. Right now is where everything exists. Your connection to everything is right now, and that's why there's so much abundance, even in this world where things are kind of seem like they're falling apart. It's like there's still incredible abundance if you just connect.
Yes. Yeah. So
Right
from
now.
the one to the many, and the many to the one. So to the degree that we each individually choose to stay connected, and that could be giving someone a compliment. That could be even in the grocery store. It might be a man or a woman, and if it's a man, sometimes I'll say, listen, I'm not trying to pick you up. I mean, you're good looking and I wouldn't mind, but that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just wanting to give you a compliment, like you are really looking sharp today, or your energy is really very, very, whatever. It's powerful.
Yeah.
I'll do that with a woman too. I will, and women giving women compliments, we make each other's day. So that connectedness, we have a responsibility to connect, and not just our neighborhood, but for us to connect, like when we're on the internet or the worldwide. We can understand we are humans. We are all interconnected with everything else, with the mineral world, the plant world, the animal world, and the human world, especially if we determine that to be our reality.
Beautiful.
That one's deep for me, because I do think that we all are one, but I do think that connectedness, there's somehow a disconnect even with ourselves. So to be able to give your own self a compliment before you can give even someone else a compliment, to even tell yourself, I love you. Like, I have gotten in the habit, I cannot go to bed without saying, like, I love you to me. And I've never done that before. And I've met people that I'm like, do you ever just look in the mirror and just tell yourself that you love yourself? Like, I love you. Like, and I hold that space and I give myself a huge hug. That was also something new that just got brought into that. And in doing that, like, oh my gosh, just loving this, it's like, I have more love to give you. I have more love to give you. Somehow the love given here,
That is great.
That's beautiful.
connects me to be able to love you and love you. But like,
And you know what? You don't have to start with, I love me. I don't have to love me before I say I love me. I could be having a hard day. I could be feeling kind of washed out or tired. And if I just stop, and if I either touch myself or hug myself, and to say, it's okay, girl. I love me. I love who I've been, what I've gone through, what has brought me to this point. So that is absolutely beautiful. And we can only let someone else love us to the degree we love ourselves.
yes. And this definitely starts with the connection to even be able to do that in such a way that, like, it makes you want to get back engaged with other people again, where sometimes, like, no, I am alone, and then you start letting yourself drift farther and farther away. But
And again,
feels
it's
like a divine access.
divine access. I like that.
I like that too.
Yeah. And remember, we have free will. So we are making those decisions. And it's not blaming other people or other circumstances or substances. Those are all excuses. It is, we have free will. We can choose to stay connected, to reconnect. Anytime I feel disturbed, I know I've disconnected. Disturbed, that's my word.
Disturbed.
So if I'm disturbed, I can stop wherever I am, in the car, in a grocery store, and I can choose to reconnect and to be a part of life, be a part of this world.
Nice.
So I believe this is going to be our first video in February, and we know February is kind of the love month, and it's Valentine's Day. So our next video, we're going to be talking about some juicy things about Valentine's. So thanks
later.
for being here. And time to touch. You could get a hold of Michael if you want to talk to a man, or Ryan, or myself. All the information is right there. Whatever, however you're watching us. And if you want some counseling, couple or individual, I'm your gal.
There she is.
Love you all. Thank you.